Supervisor Federici.
Here, I think.
Councilman Fancher.
Here.
Councilwoman Mattias. Here. Councilman Proudman. Councilman Smith.
Here.
Gary Sutton. Here. Richard Irwin.
Here.
Marie Stuber. Diane Williams. William Amos.
Here. Okay. Yes. Stand for the pledge. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Welcome on a hot, sultry evening.
Is it cooler outside than in here?
No. Pretty
Well,
sticky.
maybe, don't you want the door open? Do you want the door open? Is it cooler? I know.
I'm all for it, you guys are.
Yeah.
Sun's down, it's down. Cool outside. All right, that's good. Cool. Okay. Privilege of the floor. Is anybody signed up for that?
Nobody was signed up when I checked at 58, so.
I assume nobody has signed up since then.
We won't have a lot of visitors, so if you did, raise your hand.
Yep. Okay. You have the minutes that were sent around on, well, about a week ago, about 2 or 3 weeks ago. The July 11th meeting minutes. If anybody has any comments or suggestions or motions, we'll entertain them.
I believe a motion to accept them.
Okay. Kelly makes the motion to accept them. Do we have a second?
I'll second it.
Second from Carl. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? So carried. The assessor's report. Did you get anything?
She did email it to me just a little bit ago.
I know. I just asked that report.
Okay. Dear board members, I have been working in the field and from the home office most of the last month. This involved previewing properties in the field and online that have sold, collecting data on them and preparing the reports that are needed for the 2023 reevaluation process. We all meet again in August for updating. The local law that is being proposed for the senior age, lower income partial exemption is much needed change. There were property owners receiving this exemption that will have a reduction in the amount of exemptions assessed value of their property without this change being made for future rolls. This is all due to the substantial increase that was given to those receiving Social Security. What this does is allow for a higher household income and still be eligible for an assessed value percentage to be deducted off of the taxable asset value before the tax rates are applied. Thank you for supporting this. Please stay cool and enjoy the rest of the summer. Marie Stewart.
Do we have a motion to accept the assessor's report?
So moved.
Do we have a second? Lori? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, well, you know what? This is a good segue for the local law that was placed on your desk. For those of you who don't know, the law states that you have to place it on the desks of the legislators that are involved, whether it be the state senate or the local level like us. So this was placed last week on your desks. I call these your desks. And what we need to do is make this available to the public, this local law, and I'll just read what the title is. Increasing the maximum income eligibility level for persons 65 years of age or over pursuant to Section 467 of the Real Property Tax Law. And basically, it's what Maria just said in her report, that with the big increase in Social Security and whatever, anything else, some people either fell out that were already covered by this or would get less. So this is sort of trying to correct that, and there's more information behind this, but this is just a quick summary of what we're trying to do. This has already been passed to county and many of the towns and even some of the school districts. We've had this in place for years. It's just that it hasn't grown with inflation. The impact to all of us is really minimal. Really doesn't make that much of a difference. So what we need to do, following protocol, is to vote on establishing a public hearing, which we can do for 7 o'clock at the next meeting, unless Carl looks excited there and wants to do it sooner. Okay. So, that being the case, that you're not voting for the local law yet, and we will hear from the public if they have anything to say, but I will entertain a motion, if this is what you wish to do, to set up a public hearing on the, whatever the second Monday of September is, at 7 p.m.
I'll make the motion.
Okay, Lori makes the motion.
I'll second it.
Carl seconds it. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? So carried. Thank you. And obviously, we'll put this in the paper and post it and put it on the website and all that other good stuff. And there's copies of it there if anybody's interested on the way out. They can grab it. Rich, code enforcement officer's report. Man, I feel like I'm in a steam bath.
It's a little warm in here.
It's the same outside though.
I know.
Stay that way for a while too.
Rich, go for
You fell asleep.
Couple quick things, nothing too crazy going on, just some statistics. We have 41 open permits currently. We had closed a few, got a couple new ones, and also renewed a few. The same 3 active enforcements are going on, and they're all trying to comply, so I don't see any of them being a big deal, but we're working through it. I've been working on one thing you guys may or may not be aware of, just updating the classifications on the fee schedule to better align with what's required from the state. And that's a project that's been being worked on. And the main thing I want to say is that the wastewater treatment plant got its certificate of occupancy there. I've been there a couple months ago, and there was a couple of minor things that need to be done, and they took care of them all, and it passed with flying colors, and it's all up and running, and the CO is on file.
Excellent. Thank you. Anything else? No, don't create.
Yeah, I don't know. No, I can talk a long time, they say, so I can keep you here.
You can do that in the parking lot.
Yeah, I'm done.
All right. All those in favor of accepting the code enforcement officer's report signify by saying aye.
I'll make a motion first.
Yes. We have a second. We have a second from Lori. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you. Town clerk's report.
Real exciting, 3 dog licenses.
I was gonna say we should accept that one too.
Yes. Well, second it, please. Second.
Second.
We have a second from Carl. All those in favor say aye. Any opposed? So carried. Tax collector's report. I don't think she's got much doing for the next several months, but we'll put it on there just in case. Sewer district operators report. I know Travis was here, so
He's been here, yes.
talking about flows and all that other good stuff.
So this month, there was an average daily flow rate of 2,692 gallons a day. They've created a comprehensive list of tools, supplies, and equipment that they feel are needed for regular operations and maintenance for the plant, and they've started ordering the items on that list. Edmonds Metro brought back their spare pump from the main wet well that they had rebuilt. They received a quote from Kinsley Power for their annual preventative maintenance service contract, and they forwarded that to the town supervisor. There was an alarm call at the main pump station on July 29th. Pump 2 had tripped. We reset the pump and monitored. There has not been any issue with the pump since then. If there are any questions, reach out to Travis.
Thank you. Motion?
I'll make a motion.
Carl makes the motion to accept. Lori seconds it, and all those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? So carried. Historian's report. How you doing?
I'm doing great. Okay, so from a historian perspective, Carrie and I have responded to a number of requests for records and combed through files trying to find those for people. We have some repetitive customers that keep coming back to us. This Thursday, I'm doing a lecture for the senior citizens. I'm their guest speaker. So that's exciting. I've been working on a lot of research and combing through files and finding interesting things to weave in and out of my lecture. I had the opportunity to meet with some people at the barbecue who just stopped by the church to buy some chicken and wanted to talk about historian stuff. So that was neat. I've had a few more questions about family genealogy and requests for information regarding that. I've also been in touch with the Haynes Falls historian Dee Thorpe. You might have saw it on Facebook, but there was a man, she said his name is Carl Stryker. I'm not sure if it's really a Charles formally name or anything, but he was a hero in the burning of the, not the Catterstill, there's a secluded, the Twilight Inn, sorry, I had to think about where it was in my mind, inn, which burned in the 1920s. He saved like 6 lives, and he was from Conesville. He didn't live in Conesville at the time, but apparently he was born here, but I have not found any record of that, and I'm still looking on that though, because I believe her that he's from around here. So that's an ongoing project there. For the Historical Society, as of July 17th, we are now a 501c3 official status. So people can make donations to us and deduct it from their taxes, so that's huge. And it also allows us to start applying for grants, which we have done, and we have some more options coming up in the future as we hash out some details about what the future looks like. We're going to sell shirts at the Touch a Truck event, and we have a membership drive that's going to be occurring soon. That's my highlights.
Wasn't the old brick house in Conesville, West Conesville, wasn't that a Stryker?
Paul Stryker. Yeah, so I can't find a Carl Stryker, but I found a Charles Stryker, but the dates don't match the age of the other guy, so.
Did you look in the cemetery record?
Yep. I looked, yeah. I think he was buried someplace down there, but he was born here, so there's tons of Strykers, so there's gotta be a connection. Haven't unearthed it yet.
Just gotta find it.
Yep, we're gonna find it.
The guy who just bought the property across from the spring up of that is a Stryker. I think his name is Carl.
So it's probably not the guy that died in the fire, but.
Oh, he's not that guy, maybe.
Thank you. Motion to accept the historian's report?
I'll make it. Oop. Lori made it, I'll second it.
Works for me. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Carried. Thank you. Highway Super's report.
Continued ditching and replacement of culverts along South Mountain Road. We've done quite a few. Most of them are either rotted or clogged, so this is good work that they're doing. We have a hard date of August 17th for paving, basically from Lost Mountain Road down to the area of that red barn at the bottom of the hill. That's August 17th with Gorman. Gorman's going to be doing that. And we're lining up additional help from hopefully Gilboa and maybe Wyndham and maybe Jefferson, trucks and drivers. I have been in touch with the DEP and the DEC and County Soil and Water about the situation at the Penguin Road Bridge. My contact at DEC says the County Soil and Water is making up a plan to repair the stream bank and may do so next year. They have to get it engineered, then they have to go out to bid. So there's a big process with that, and it's not an urgent situation there, but it's important. So we got that going. DEC has also been in touch with us regarding the possible replacement of 3 culvert pipes under Briggs, Bush, and Calkins Road, and they're interested in those because there's fish in those waterways, and so they want to, when they do it, they're pretty comprehensive about protecting the wildlife. And there will be more on that moving forward. We have purchased a new, much more appropriate trailer for transporting the excavator, and we'll auction off the old trailer at some point in the near future. 2 Sundays ago, there was some pretty bad winds, and some trees came down up on Durham Road, and we were out for a little while on Sunday cleaning that up. There was a tree down on Pineman Road at the bottom of the hill. We cleaned that up today. And the supervisor asked me to mention that we are looking to replace our boom mower. It's old, it's unsafe, it's leaking oil all over the place. We are looking at a unit from Stevenson Equipment. It's a John Deere tractor with a 22 foot boom mower that you can do brush and grass with. I'm told that possibly through a permissive referendum, we may be able to purchase it. And so that unit needs to be replaced. If we ordered it now, we probably wouldn't get it till April. So it's something I kind of want to move on, and it's a piece of equipment that needs to be replaced. The old one, the one we have has served us well, but it's falling apart, and it's dangerous for the guys that are operating it. I think that's it.
All right, if I can just add to what you'd said about the boom mower. This is something that probably we need more than anything else at this point. Not just for the mower, but you said you can even, for the same price, get the second, the flail mower, I think.
Possibly, yeah.
Okay. But there's still a tractor attached that can be put to other uses.
Yes.
So I mean, it's not like we're gonna go buy a expensive lawnmower.
If there's no snow on the ground, we could be using this piece of equipment.
Okay.
So that's kind of gives you, a time frame of its usage. And we need, with all the dirt roads and we live in the woods with all the dirt roads, we need a piece of equipment to cut the grass and trim the trees efficiently, so.
Now, how much I know, this is a rhetorical question. How much is it?
It's $170,000 for a 110 horse tractor, with the boom mower, added to it and delivered, ready to go.
Now, you're debating between the New Holland and the John Deere?
And the John Deere, yeah. It seems like the guys would like to go with the John Deere.
Okay. Now, this $170,000, we don't want to get more debt. I think we all agree with that. We don't have much debt. It's one bond anticipation note that we've got for the lower, and I think that was a real good move. But as we want to have any kind of plan to keep our inventory up to date, and that's one of the reasons that we had set up the reserve account. There's about $130,000 or something like that in there now. Plus we budgeted $75,000 for this year to put into that account. Would bring us up at year end to $205. Now, when you have a reserve, when you set up a reserve account, you can go 2 ways with the voters. You can have a permissive referendum to set up that reserve account, and then you can spend out of it as you put money into it. Or, and I like this one better, you set up the account and then you ask the voters whether we have permission to use the money that's in that account. And that's the way it's set up in New York State law. So, and we see this with the school district. A lot of times they say, buy two school buses, yada, yada, yada. We would have to, anything that we spent for out of that account, we would need to get the permission, and we'd be very specific as to what the cost is and all that other good stuff. I was hoping, with board approval, of course, that we could do that at the November election when people come in to vote. Today was the deadline, and we were just talking about this Friday, so we didn't have time to put together. So Mike West is working on how we can legally do this if the board so decides to do this. So we don't have to decide tonight, but we would have more information ready for you guys, ladies, with the date that we could do this and how much it would be. I personally think that's what we're saving this money on, instead of keeping buying somebody else's problem.
Right.
Yeah, that's why we started it. That was a recommendation from the state when they audited us.
Yes.
Did you want to mention anything about chips?
Yes, thank you. was gonna mention it elsewhere, but this is good.
Okay,
No,
all right.
no, I like that, this
Yeah.
is good. By the way, I submitted the first one today, and I asked the woman I'm working with in Binghamton, DOT, if it was all right. She just made one minor suggestion, she said, but don't worry about it, I'll take it. I'm gonna put 3 files in there, and she says it looks good. So we're putting in, and they came up with a new program, what is it? Pave our potholes.
Pave our potholes,
We got
yeah,
$22,000, I didn't pave our potholes.
22,000?
Yes!
I've seen our potholes, we can use it.
I have one right on my driveway, and I keep hitting it.
Don't feel bad. You
But-
drive
You live on a county road.
That's county,
Do you,
Yeah.
you wanna give them the number? You wanna give them the number that we, this is the first number that we put in for was how much?
$87,000. We're up to like
Okay, 80, okay,
but we're 187.
that's what we put in for, right?
Yeah, that's what we normally get. But there's also pave our potholes, pave New York, and extreme weather. So there's like 3 or 4 additional programs, you know, every time somebody gets we get bad weather, they decide but the program doesn't go away. So if you have a great winter, they're
Well,
still gonna give you the money.
We put in for 156, and
Yes.
then when we pave South Mountain and get the bill from Gorman, that's gonna bring us up to our max. There'll be no rollover for this year in
That's
TIF
right.
money.
That's
So, which is great, which is fine.
We used it, that's what it was
Yeah,
for.
exactly.
We might not be as extravagant next year, depending on what they give us, but I still think it's a good idea.
That was a good morning, I have to say, getting our paperwork together and sending that out.
You even went for the coffee and the
I
zucchini
did,
cake.
I
so
did.
it
No, he stopped talking to me when you got here with that.
It's true.
We were on the phone, it was, there you go, Kelly.
I had coffee. Coffee talks.
So, yes, it does. So that's where we are, and obviously you don't have to decide on that tonight, we'll have more detail. I think we should have them for the next meeting. I'll know from Mike when we can do he said you can do it anytime, but I think it's a little bit more complicated than that.
All right.
We'll do it with his guidance, but it can be done. And we'll be putting in a submission, I mentioned the other, we put 2 others, and one was for the Ford F-550 we got in January. And that was under CHIPS.
Yes,
And the other one was,
all stone material for the road.
yeah, paved New York or something
Yeah.
like that. But she was fine, in fact, she said I sent her too much detail, so she doesn't want, don't give her detail, she doesn't want. So anyway, I'll get those 2 out, we have until Wednesday. She'll take them as an electronic submission. They're really good, I mean, you hear things about state workers, this is not one of them. She is on top of things and she's extremely helpful from the DOT. So which means she'll probably retire next year now that we start working.
Bill, how's the rest of the equipment rolling out? I mean, since I've been here, the graders need a repair.
With the grader, we're using it. The pavement roller has been fixed. They're both over on
Davis.
Davis Road, yeah, forgive me.
Almost back into it.
And once we're done paving, I know the guys want to get over there and work on those, both of those, Davis and Leroy, and that's why the equipment's over there. We don't, you know, to move equipment from place to place to place is bordering on counterproductive. So that stuff is over there. The loader is a fantastic piece of equipment. We're going to hopefully be able to, we have 2 older tractors. One of them is the old boom mower, and then we have a sickle mower tractor. We'll hopefully be able to trade them in or auction them off, and that will return some money to the town. But I'm thinking probably, I don't want to speak out of turn, but I think Tyler may be interested in replacing the service truck next year.
The F-350?
The F-350 next year. Needs a box. And not to get too long in the tooth, but Sean brought up a very good point today. He says the only vehicle we use that takes gasoline is the service truck. We have chainsaws and and weed whackers and so on and so forth. So he's wondering why are we keeping all of that gas in that one tank for one vehicle? So he thinks we should get rid of that tank and set up an account with Dahlberg to fill that truck whenever we need fuel. You're keeping a lot less fuel on hand that you're paying for, and that will allow us to use premium fuel for our small engine equipment that we can, because you know what the ethanol is doing to all the fuel. So that's not premium non-ethanol. That is ethanol regular fuel. So we would be able to transition on the small equipment chainsaws, so on and so forth, to premium fuel with no ethanol in it, and that would be very good for the equipment. And we would just go there to get gas for the service truck. And maybe next year you wind up buying a diesel service truck. We wouldn't even be doing that anymore. So it's an interesting idea to get rid of that gas tank.
The only thing I'll say for the board is, that is a good idea, except for one thing. You buy Dahlbergs, you're gonna pay all the taxes on it that we.
I think he has to come up with a state bid price.
If he wants to sell it, but I mean, if you just pump it from the pump, it gets cumbersome in tracking that. I mean, I don't mind paying it if it's just to fill up a 5-gallon pail.
We would probably get some kind of key card system, I think. We'd have to figure it out.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's worth looking into.
I agree, yeah, I
Also,
agree.
if you take that gasoline tank off the property when we do our permits, there will be less money as well.
What?
What do you mean by less?
How much we charge, or how much we're charged for having the permits for having gasoline.
Okay, that makes
fuel and
fun
stuff
save
off the
money.
property.
I agree. I think it's definitely an idea.
It's definitely worth looking into.
Yep.
Yes.
And then we'll see what the dollars and cents say.
Yes.
The dollars and cents will tell us which way to go.
Yep. No,
Now, if we have to pay retail for it, then maybe that's probably not such a good idea.
The town may have to buy a credit card, use that credit card to fill the vehicle up, and that's how we keep track of it. You know, something like that.
I can see Kelly already.
We can talk about that.
Oh, the credit card would stay in the truck. You know, you keep track of them. And then Travis occasionally uses gas too, so we have to figure that
Yeah,
out.
all right. The only other thing I want to add about chips, interest rates are creeping back up again. So my view is next year, you can put in these chip applications quarterly. Let's not wait till the third or fourth quarter, because even if you get $30,000, $40,000, $50,000, that's a lot of interest that you're
Yeah.
leaving on the table now.
So that is a night-class account.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
So, but I mean, when it was like 0.1, it wasn't worth it. But anyway, all right, if there's no other further questions or comments, entertain a motion to accept the
I'll make that motion.
report.
I'll second it.
We have a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? So carried. All right. The county report, I don't have too much to talk about for that. The only thing, things are going well. Actually, we have a good problem. We have a very large fund balance. We're starting the cycle for our budget, just like we'll talk about for here. There's over $30 million in there, which is kind of excessive, but some of that's a function of unbelievably high sales tax revenues, which is, well, that's a good problem to have. We do have some bond anticipation notes coming up. I know everybody's eyes glaze over it, I understand that. But this all comes back to what we're going to be paying in taxes in the next bill. So this is all good stuff, but we do have some bond anticipation notes coming up, and we want to retire those because we're at the point you have to serialize them, which means you have to do at least a 10-year note, and you can't call it in or pay by municipal law, I think county law too. You have to keep them alive for 10 years instead of renewing them as a bond anticipation note. So, and there's a lot of debate over what the correct number is to have on hand in fund balance. Some people say 10%, I think that's way too low. That's not what we do. We're smaller, so we do need it, but see, those are the mundane things we argue about. But it's important.
Well, you get the big bucks.
Even Joe. You know, I'm working 2 to 3 days a week now until we get a county administrator. Yeah.
Well, you get overtime.
No.
It's the recognition you get.
No, I said, I'm not gonna, I said to my, I said at the to the supervisors. I'm not asking for any money. You know, my buddy from Broome there, he's a nice guy, and you ain't getting any.
Perfect.
But anyway, that's my supervisor's county's report, and I get a motion to accept it.
I have a question.
Yeah,
When's Flat Creek Road gonna be fixed?
maybe never now.
It's full.
Well, then, where's the money coming from?
They gave up Striker Road, which makes it a pain.
Oh, I'm sorry, I was confusing that with Stryker Road. I thought you were trying to get Stryker Road back.
Oh, that.
No, it's a huge pothole that opened up in the last couple of weeks.
No, Flat Creek.
That is alive and on life support, but it's still going to be done. I don't have an answer for you. When you when you don't have the funds and you gotta get them from DOT or from, we have the same problem over here, over in the other end of the county. There's a bridge on a place called Bridge Street in Schoharie. It's 110 years old, single lane, and it is beyond repair. And
That is heavily used.
yes, it is, and especially for emergency vehicles. I mean, if you're gonna have to dispatch Schoharie, fire or ambulance.
You gotta go up to 7 or go to middle
Yeah.
Word.
So-
They're never gonna get there.
So we're arguing that.
Send the coroner.
But we had a photo op. Our previous congressman invited us over and says he was gonna do everything for us, and then Governor Hochul made him lieutenant governor. So now it's in limbo again.
The Flat Creek Road?
No, I'm talking about the Bridge Street, because there's a lot of upset people about that. So I did see Marcus Molinaro, when he wins, if he wins, he will be our congressman for 4 months and 1 week, until we change districts. He said he would help us get that started for the next congress. So if he wins on Tuesday, the 20, whatever it is, I am calling him, I have his number, I am calling him on the 24th to remind him. This is not being political, I'm not telling anybody who to vote for, I'm just telling you, if he wins, he's gonna hear from me.
Yeah.
Are we allowed to talk, ask questions?
Generally, no, but go ahead.
I just
We're
on the
small
Flat
group.
Creek thing, it's impacting the school.
I know.
They know that, right?
Yes, they do. Yeah, but I'm gonna tell you,
It's always.
let me tell you what the state, how the state doesn't care.
Okay, that's fine.
And again, that's not political, whoever's in charge, they don't
We
care.
just blast the music louder.
Okay, but no, it's a good question.
No, again,
Where is the Board of Education and the administration needs to be ragging on the powers that be.
Yeah, but it's a county road.
It's a county road, but we don't have that money. That's a huge job,
Huge.
and that's where they have these
How the
special
heck are they
funds.
gonna fix that?
I don't know, I mean, they can just drag it away and haul it away, but
Is
it's,
that what the county says to the power authority? We found a way for you guys to contribute back to the town?
we're having those
Fix this
conversations.
road?
Yeah, we're having those conversations.
It's in the town of Dubois.
Yeah. Yeah, so I mean, there's always a chance that maybe they can get power authority to kick in a bunch of funds for that.
I'd give you 50 to 1 odds it doesn't happen.
No, they're already getting a bunch of
Who does it?
money. Come on.
Yeah, that's right. That's part of the siding bond, as they call it. So,
Take those funds.
I would think so.
But it's a county road, so the town's not gonna wanna be involved in it.
No, I mean, we used to run a bus up through there.
I know.
Now we gotta go around by the school, back down, I gotta find a turnaround.
well, I think it's thought about the turnaround, yeah.
What kids are down?
Hey, huh?
What kids are down?
Oh, I gotta go up to Trista's.
Oh, you do? Wow.
But she's been bringing them to school,
Right.
thank God. I asked her to bring them to school all last year.
Maybe that is one that the Board of Ed ought to go to the town of Gilboa and say, hey, you know, we need something here, some of your residents are impacted.
And a small bus isn't a problem, but I don't have a small bus to go up in there. It is, Sean, either run them off the Kingston Road or bring them to school.
Anybody else have anything on the supervisor, which I said would be quick?
I'll make a motion to accept it.
Second?
I'll second.
What's a really reluctant second? All those in favor say aye. Any opposed?
Tough crowd.
Tough crowd, I tell you. I figured the weather would move this along. All right, town business. You guys have the budget statement for June. I gave you a written copy and emailed it to you in case you didn't see it. Nothing noteworthy, really. We're doing well, I think, in terms of keeping to the budget. A few adjustments here and there, but that's normal. The bottom line is not in any danger. That being the case, I'll entertain questions, comments, motions. You can't leave here till somebody does something.
I'll make a motion.
I'll second.
We have a motion from Carl, a second from Lori. All those in favor say aye. Any opposed? Carried.
Is that the one we need roll call on?
No,
No,
Okay.
that's coming up next.
I try to stay out of that one because I'm the one who
Uh,
makes the report.
The next one is the budget resolution. It's a very simple one. We'll need to do a roll call, as Carrie reminded us. There's an additional $19,985.64, which is that pave our potholes. So obviously, if it's revenue coming in, we should reflect that as part of our budget. And I added that $19,985 to the general repairs contractual budget. So that gives Bill another 20 grand mid-year to his budget.
Spent it yesterday.
I know you did. Well, now you got cover for it. So that's the extent of it. Yeah, see that the thing on the back, pop, paper pop. So we can take a,
I haven't heard that one before.
no, I never heard of it until he showed it to me on Friday.
That'd be something new.
Yep, we can do the roll call, please, Carrie?
Supervisor Federici,
Aye.
Councilman Fancher,
Aye.
Councilwoman Tice,
Aye.
Councilman Crum, Councilman Smith.
Aye.
It's passed. Thank you. The next thing I have, and you have a schedule there, I give this to anybody else who wants it. The 2023 budget process will be starting very soon. And I'm not gonna go through this year, every year, I won't go through it word for word, but we'll start sharing with the department heads, especially Bill, but Rich too, and Carrie, and Kim, will get a request for what they think they need for next year. And that's how it starts the process. Let me stress the word request. Anyway, the takeaway right now is we need to set two dates. One is for the budget workshop, and I'm recommending October 11th. It's got to be separate from our board meeting, which would be October 10th. So, and then we would have that would generate the preliminary budget based on the consensus of the board, what we want to present to the public. And when we do that, that'll be on November 9th. And we have 6 days from that point to finalize it and get it into the state. So, let's do a motion. Can I have a motion to, unless you guys want to talk about it first, a motion to set the budget workshop for October 11th at 7 p.m. here?
Make a motion.
We have a motion?
Second.
We have a second? All those in favor? Any opposed? Carried. And may I have a motion to set the preliminary budget public hearing on November 9th at 7 p.m. here?
I'll make
Yeah.
a motion.
Okay. We have the motion, we have the second. All those in favor say aye. Any opposed? Carried. I'll just throw a comment in. It is going to be, I'm hoping that we have a pretty good fund balance. Well, I'm planning for us to have a good fund balance, but you never know what happens. But the better the fund balance, the less we can weather huge increases in, just about everything with inflation. We buy fuel. Fuel's out of sight. It's gone down a little bit, but year to year, it is still obscenely higher. And, it is ridiculous. So, and there's some people that are not under the collective bargaining agreement. I mean, we may want to see how we compensate them, as well as, it's too early to say, but if we're going to continue with an incentive program, all those things will factor in, for the highway guys. So, this could be a challenging year, and I'd like somebody to tell me, Bill, you're wrong. It's not 10 out of 5.
I'll lie to you, tell you're wrong.
Okay. We did the local law. We did that as a segue, so we're good there. Couchman House update. We heard from Kim, and I just want to add one or two things to that. I had a guy, and since he hasn't called me, and it's almost 8 o'clock, he's done. I called him at least 3 or 4 times, said he was interested. Like anything else, it's tough to get people for anything. So we have a lead on somebody here in town who does this for a living, so I will give that person a call tomorrow, and maybe we'll meet or talk, but I want to get rolling on getting that assessment, what things cost, what it will take to get them done, what's important. We have a lot of nice ideas, of course, about what we want to do, but we have to, of course, make an informed decision, working mostly with us and with the Historical Society has some needs, and they do some fundraising, so they need to tell people when they're raising money where the money's going also. So to me, this is important that we get this done, because it also puts us in a better position for requesting grants. I mean, depending on where you go, they can be real sticklers. I don't blame them. I'm going to give somebody 6 figures. I want to know, how'd you come up with this number? Not in the back of an envelope either. How'd you figure this out? Yep. So that's where we are with that. We're probably going to have not probably, I'm planning it, and I didn't get any pushback from the Historical Society, a volunteer day, but we'll make sure we're covered with insurance and all that. I don't know what the impact is, but I waited for us to pay the insurance bill, which we've done, so that for the whole town, but that includes the Couchman House. So then I will find out when I can get a walk-in bin. I would prefer 30 yards. That's pushing it whether it's enough, but at least we'll get that done. And I'm looking for volunteers from the Historical Society, not the whole town. It probably would be too many. It's only 1 or 2 points of egress and access to the building. We'd be bumping into each other. So if somebody's interested in doing that, maybe we'll have a second shift on another day. So I'm excited about that. There's a lot of stuff in there. There's some talk about doing a yard sale on some of it. I wouldn't buy it. But anybody who's interested, the stuff is wonderful. Come and pick through it and see if there's anything you like. But that'll be a fundraiser. So that's where, did I leave anything out?
I don't think so. I was thinking you could also do shifts on the cleanup day.
Yeah.
Like, because it's gonna
It's
take
like today.
some time, right?
Yeah, if it's like today.
You could do a morning shift and an afternoon, like a 9 to 12 and a 1 to, whatever.
Yeah, we'll work that out, but maybe before the next meeting, so we'll have some impromptu phone calls as to how we want to do it.
Like today, it's a 1:15.
Yeah.
Could it also be a sign up where priority is given to Historical Society members, but then?
Well, I have to check with
Just in case
you,
you
perhaps.
have people, I just don't want to feel guilty.
No,
Don't feel guilty.
believe me,
There's a lot
we'll
of
find
times-
other uses of your skills. All right, annual tire day, finally. And this is just getting to be, nobody even raises their eyelids anymore about, I mean, you couldn't get anybody? No, I couldn't, but now I have a 30-yard walk-in container for tires, August 20th. And, you see, it's not as easy as just calling, like Jim Ryan or somebody like that. Yeah, they've got the containers, yes, but you have to get somebody that can process the tires. And so Casella is the best around, one of the biggest in the Northeast, so that's why we use them. And they don't care if it's a bicycle tire or it's a tractor tire, you pay by the pound, or by the ton. So that's August 20th. So, come one, come all. And I wouldn't mind if we had ran out of room and I had to make them come back with one. So, that was painful. It took 6 weeks. I admit I gave up for a week or two after dealing with some of the people there. Okay, moving along. Midtel, who is not our carrier, but they are pretty good corporate citizens of Schoharie County. They made an offer to all the towns, I don't know about the villages, but they made an offer to all the towns to provide free conference privilege through their network or whatever it is. And there's no charge for it. And you guys have a copy of that I put in the package there. And the only thing they're asking is that some rogue supervisor say, yes, we'll take it. They want a motion from the board saying, yes, we'll take it. And then I'll provide that to them. There's no obligation and there's absolutely no cost. But it's a nice tool to have. I mean, I've got one from that I use personally for free conference call. It's okay. The price makes it great. But Jim Becker and the guys and gals over at Midtel, it's really a first-class outfit. So I'd recommend we accept it. No downside.
That's for here or everywhere?
No, just for
Just for
the town. Town, I mean, like Rich could use it, or
Yeah.
Phil, or, you know. If you wanted to grab Carrie and you're talking to one of those people in Alabama that want to know about their genealogy, you could do that. I need a motion to accept it, and I will.
I'll make a motion.
Okay, Lori makes the motion.
I'll second it.
I'll second, okay? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you. Oh, I have one more thing, it's not on the agenda. Sort of late breaking. Okay, and we're gonna look at this floor for the next 20 years. I have a date for the floors. They're going to do it, what's the date?
30th through the 2nd.
Okay, 30th through the September 2nd, Tuesday through a Friday. He's gonna put down an epoxy floor. And if it's as hot and humid as it is today, it's gonna take a while to dry. So that's why it's a 4-day window. Actually, it's a 6-day if you count Saturday and Sunday. And so I've already sent out an email to the people that are involved that work here, or have come in occasionally for office hours. So I respectfully ask you, if you feel you need to come into this room, plan ahead of time. You're still going to the offices if you want to read all that epoxy, but I'll keep that myself too. But I'm excited about that because that's almost the last thing that we need to do under the, oh yeah, I do have one other thing. Sorry. For the right words. Not only the JCAP, but there's one or two smaller items like putting on getting rid of the key door locks, the exterior doors, and having a punch code system, which we can change periodically, which is a good thing.
You not have a key in the front door too?
Yeah. You're gonna set, yeah.
Moving up the road.
Yeah, you like that?
We used to back
But
door.
obviously, the judge should have her own code too.
Yeah.
So, I think she bought 5 of them under the grant. And I don't have a date yet for the split system heating and cooling, but that will go to Cool Temp. I sent you guys an email, and we had a discussion. I don't think that was the lowest one. I believe it came, I don't have it in front of me, but it came to, what was it?
A little under 22,000.
Yeah, 22.9 if I'm correct. I'm probably not, but I'm close.
25,990.
Yeah, then they had the $4,000
Yeah.
Yeah,
grant on there.
21,690.
yeah, that's the, that was, I think we were talking about it at the historical society. It got marked down because there are certain people that do this registered with NYSERDA and whatever, it comes out to our benefit. So again, we'll see how long it takes for them to Marshall, if they have the equipment, you think they might, or?
Yeah, I think they could. Lennox equipment, they buy direct from Lennox, so I don't know what their stock is.
Okay.
Some of the big boys have quite a bit of stock. Like Chris Foley Brothers or Service Experts, and clean their warehouse, and you've got millions of dollars worth of products in there.
Well, maybe they want to get rid of the $22,000. We still have to get an electrician. I've tried to reach out to, well, I did reach out to a local electrician. I won't use his name. We see each other on the road, we wave to each other going out, but we can't seem to set up a meeting. I wanted to do that the end of last week, wanted to do it this week, but we still haven't hooked up. But the electrical work from the units back to the box will be done by our electrician, which is the same thing that we did when we put the heating system in over at the garage. And so, I mean, we've chatted about that, but I think it's good to go have a motion to accept the bid from Coolton. Anybody object to that?
No, I'll make the motion.
Okay.
I'll second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Carried. Hey, by the way, once this thing is installed, that is really, really nice AC. We won't have to go through this, what we're going through now. Oh, yeah.
Oh, nice.
It has a heat pump down to what, 15 below? I mean, they work harder to get what you want it done, but that's amazing. One I have at home is craps out at 30 degrees. An old one.
They did that, all the unitary product did that and still do. Very few of them. I think Bosch is the only one who's got something that goes down to zero. And it's not unless you use this mini split inverter technology to get them down below zero like that.
But we will keep the oil burner just in case it's a backup.
Yes, we will.
That's a good move.
Thermostat will be set 2 degrees lower than what you have on the split.
Yes, yes. So I'm excited about that. So whatever we do with this place, we may end up staying here for a longer period of time for some other use. The state paid for most of it,
It's
so.
only going to improve it.
Yeah, exactly.
It's going to improve no matter what is done to the building. It's going to improve it.
Yep. That's the extent of what I have. Anybody here have anything they want to bring up? Oh, the signs are up. The ones that
Oh, they are?
they're
Where'd
up.
you put them?
Durham Road at the correct spot. We were some reason a quarter of a mile over in the Green County. Yeah, by the plow turnaround. Gary and Skeeter did it together. And then we also did the one over on Potter Mountain Road at the county line. And there's one other one that's over on Prattsville Road, but that's in a real shady spot, so I guess ultraviolet rays didn't get to. That looks pretty good. It's the same as age as the others.
Let's see, there's one over by Oldville,
Mhm.
isn't there?
There's
How
a
many are
welcome to
there?
Conesville sign. I don't know that it's that sign.
I don't know, I don't.
I feel like there's some sort of acknowledgement you're here in Conesville.
Where's it?
Like, at the top of Oldville?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
But I never noticed, I never noticed it was in sad shape then.
No, it looks fine to me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think they're shaded.
Yeah, they were $200 a piece, pretty good, and they're heavy. That's why it was a two-person
Will they
job.
last in the sun now?
No, these lasted, what, 10, 15 years?
Yeah, I don't know how long.
I promise you, I won't be worrying about that in 10, 15
I
years.
know, me either.
Does anybody else have anything they want to bring up while we're here? Okay.
May I make one question on your signs that you were just talking about? Is it possible perhaps at the bottom of Potter Hollow Mountain Road where the sign where you break left to come up the hill to get Conesville arrow left there? It has Manorkill and other things on there, but there's nothing there that says go to Conesville left here where you go to either Heather Ridge Farm is to the right or you come up the hill to come up the mountain. And there's a sign that says Manorkill, which is great, and there might even be Gilboa, but there's nothing that tells people Conesville is left. And that really is the main way into Conesville for a lot of people. So it would be really helpful, because I always tell people, oh, make a left at the signs that say everything but Conesville. So it would be really nice if that's possible. I don't know if we contact the other county or however.
Hope you're telling them to make a right.
It would be really good to, you know, just make that a little
I
easier.
will talk to our highway DPW guy, the county. He's not gonna do it because obviously.
Yeah, it's not.
He knows the process. I'm gonna make
It would be helpful, I think, for a lot of new people in town, and I think it really helps to know, go left here.
Can't promise you they'll be interested, but I'll find out.
Can't hurt to ask.
Yep.
That would be conversation with Albany County on that one.
Yeah,
Well, it's a state,
Yeah, the state, in Kansas, yeah.
well, that's right.
Yeah.
you have to do the state for that.
It wasn't that long ago it was
Bad.
updated.
I don't know, the one you come into Manorkill from Durham Road, I asked Dan for that,
Yeah,
and we had it in 48 hours. But, yeah.
that's not county down on the Albany end?
No.
Which, what, how far down?
No.
The
it's
state,
all that's-
bottom
the state
end.
comes into Preston.
Yeah. They come all the way to, is it
They
Tucker
come all the way
Street?
to the
Yeah.
line.
Yeah.
We do.
Yeah.
I
It's
know.
only
They
like the
turn
last
around right
5
there.
years or so, I think.
And Richlandville comes in, or down.
This one
Richland.
is-
And
No
the
line
state
ends
road
right
from
there.
the Y out to 145.
I did not realize that.
Yeah, I didn't either until a few years back. Okay, I have that written down to do.
Solid.
Okay. Motion to review the invoices.
So moved.
We have a second.
Yep.
All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Okay, after that, there's gonna be no other business other than an adjourn, which, by the way, you can stick around and watch us look at invoices.